I'm so excited to share with you guys this recipe for lasagna stuffed spaghetti squash boats. The recipe is originally inside of my cookbook, The Best Grain-Free Meals on the Planet, and it is still to date one of my family's favorite ways of eating everything that tastes like lasagna, but on top of a spaghetti squash. I'm gonna show you all the shortcuts, how to make this recipe awesome at your house today. To save us a little bit of time, I've already cooked my spaghetti squash. I'm only doing half of the recipe because I'm gonna cook for myself and you who's watching. But in the book, you would cook 2 full spaghetti squashes. This recipe yields leftovers, so don't worry, it's super easy. I am heating up my pan. I'm gonna heat up some oil on the pan as well because we are going to brown our meat, our Italian sausage. It's what gives this like an epic lasagna flavor. But before we get to the meats, and I'm gonna tell you how to make substitutions, we are going to brown our onions. Some ways to save time when it comes to recipes like these. I usually make this on a Sunday where we can just meal prep and cook for the week. It's just to buy pre-chopped onions or from the freezer. So if that helps you save some time, let's do that. Now, I always get a lot of questions about the spaghetti squash, and honestly, I have a video on this channel on how to cook spaghetti squash in the microwave, in the oven, even in the slow cooker. It really depends how much time do you have to get this recipe or your spaghetti squash recipes together. So I'll make sure to link that right below this video for you so you can make this recipe a lot quicker. While the onions are cooking, let me talk to you about the meat for this recipe. In the recipe and in the book, I use beef and pork sausage, but I know that a lot of people like to use ground turkey or turkey sausage even. I also have a recipe in the book on how to make your own sausage. It's just ground pork, beef, chicken, or turkey, and then the seasonings that go in it. So you can totally make your own if you want to control the proteins that go in your recipe. That's always an option. So now that our onions have softened up, I am going to add our garlic. I have crushed garlic in my fridge. It's already ready for me, but you can take a couple garlic heads, chop them up, and add those in there. So to my softened onions and garlic, I'm going to add my ground beef and my sausage. This sausage is Italian sausage. It already has all the seasonings in it. And with your spatula, you want to just chop it. I'm also going to add a tiny bit of salt. Always good to season your proteins. Something you should know is that my pan looks really full because I'm actually cooking a little bit extra meat and sausage to save for another meal. So I'm gonna cook once, save that, and save some time 2 days from now when I'm gonna have lasagna loaded baked potatoes with my kids. They love it. We set up this whole baked potato bar. Everybody kind of loads up their toppings, and it's just super easy night, and dinner is practically made. So if you are watching this video while you cook along and are wondering how come there's not as much protein in your pan, that's why I have a lot more than your recipe calls for. Now, this recipe is a really popular recipe inside of the Family Kickstart program, which is a program in the MOMables community loves on how to reset the way we eat, how to eliminate processed foods, and really just how to get back to kitchen basics and eat more real and fresh foods. But with my tips like this, incorporating cooking once and saving some for later, it's really how many of us are able to cook really healthy meals throughout the week without sacrificing, ingredients and quality. You just kind of gotta cook once and eat twice, or find shortcuts that work for your family. I'll make sure to link that below this video along with the book. The meal plans, if you're not trying to eat Whole30 or paleo and you just want family-friendly meal plans, I'll link that right below too. Now, something you wanna make sure you do as you cook your meat is to chop it into smaller pieces. That way you can fit a lot of the topping on top of your spaghetti squash. But something I'm often asked is, does eating fresh and real food take a lot more time? And how do I do it working full time? Well, guys, I have to be honest with you, it really doesn't take up a lot more time. Like, you still have to eat. What I do always suggest is to create a plan for your week so you know exactly how to tackle what and when. it doesn't mean that it takes more time or you're cooking like beans from scratch at 5 o'clock at night. If you have to cook a lot of one protein, like whether it's grilling chicken or cooking meat and saving that for another night, do that. You know, it's not only more affordable for families to eat good food, but it's also a lot healthier. And I know that a lot of us are really just trying to do our best, you know, and we're juggling a lot. So find the things. I would love to know from you, what are some of your shortcuts that you implement that helps you eat healthier throughout your week? Make sure you leave a comment below this video and share that with everyone else. So now that the meat mixture is cooked through, I'm going to add crushed tomatoes. That's what the recipe calls for. But I just filmed a video showing you how to make tomato sauce in the slow cooker. So I have a jar of tomato sauce that I made in the slow cooker that I'm just gonna use for this recipe. Make sure to check that out if you wanna save some time. So let's add this right here. It's not a very saucy filling. It's literally designed to top the spaghetti squash. So that's why it's not a meat sauce. It's more like a meat mixture with tomato. Let's combine this into our meat. Now, if you want to drain the meat from the fats and oils, feel free to do that before adding the sauce. I personally don't mind a little extra in here, so we're good to go. Amazing. So this sauce is ready, and what now we have to do is top our spaghetti squash with it. As I shared with you guys, I already cooked my spaghetti squash. So what you want to do is, using a fork, shred the meat from your spaghetti squash. You want to shred it away from the skin. So once you take these out of the oven, it's already ready to be enjoyed. And now, depending on the size of your spaghetti squash, you may want to cook one or two. I kind of picked one on the smaller side. Before I load up my spaghetti squash with the toppings, I'm going to make my cheesy mixture as well. And here I have ricotta cheese. In the recipe, I also have a link in the book to make your own dairy-free version. And if you're making this recipe dairy-free, you're gonna omit the Romano cheese and only use that dairy-free ricotta cheese. So all the details, again, right below this video. You and I just get to make this and have a good time. So ricotta cheese, Romano cheese are gonna be combined, and some Italian seasoning, a little bit of parsley, and then we mix it up. Now this mixture, because I'm gonna have extra, I'm going to use to stuff some shells. So I have some large shells I'm going to stuff with this mixture, plus some spinach, and that's another thing I have meal prepped for the week. All right, so what we're gonna do, now that our cheese mixture is ready, is top our spaghetti squash with the meat, and I just simply scoop generously right over the top. And then we're gonna take this and put it right over the top. This is gonna melt in the oven. And although all the ingredients are already cooked through, we're just gonna bake this for about 15 to 20 minutes, just long enough to like melt the cheese, get everything incorporated. Super delicious. Let's take this to the oven. Guys, the crust on this cheese topping, the meat, smells just like lasagna, but a lot healthier. So let's give this a try. Look, you are gonna grab the spaghetti squash and some of that meat mixture and the cheese. Legit. Make sure you grab the recipe right below this video, check out all the links, and try it out. When you're down there, hit that red subscribe button so you and I get to cook together every single week. See you next time.